Hi guys, my name's Emma and let's talk spooky stuff. So it is that time of the month. That's just for you, Franklin. That's one of my subscribers who does not like when I mention girly things. I'm just joking. It is the end of September and we're all very excited because it's gonna be October. And that means my 31 days of horror. But first, let's dive into my favorites for the month. And let's just get straight into Letterbox because obviously I read your comments and a lot of you guys find it really helpful. So let's just start at the beginning. I watched a lot this month. Obviously, first I watched Don't Breathe. Oh my God, that was at the start of the month. That feels like forever ago. You guys know how I feel about that. I do have a full review on that. I watched Training Day, which was just a fun movie to watch with Dean. Then we watched Batman vs. Superman. Obviously, I'd already seen Training Day. Batman vs. Superman, that was a weird movie. I'm a bit of a Batman fan, so it was interesting but weird. Then I watched A Fantastic Fear of Everything, which is a really good movie that one of you guys actually recommended to me. It has Simon Pegg in it, and it's kind of like a comedy horror, but it's really tied in really well, and I think you guys will really like it. Definitely check that one out, write it down. I then watched My Friend Rockefeller, which was a documentary on Netflix. Not a big fan of that one, take it or leave it. It's about a scam artist kind of in a way. I then watched Anti-Birth, which you guys probably would have seen my review on. If you haven't and you want to know what I thought about it, definitely check that out. I watched a documentary that was also, I think, on Netflix called Sex, My British Job, which is about brothels in the UK. It's pretty intense, pretty gross, and quite interesting. It's good to know about that kind of stuff and what's actually happening, opposed to just seeing, you know, prostitution and things highlighted or glorified in some way. So I thought that was really good to watch. I then watched The Neon Demon, which my review will be out for that in November. Just because I have so much going on during October, there's a lot of these guys will be on hold until then. I watched Baskin, which you guys know, maybe watch my review that just came out on Monday about that. So if you haven't, definitely check that out. I watched Phone Booth again, just a movie we decided to rewatch. Dean tricked me into watching Turner and Hooch, and thank God there was a dog in that movie because no thank you. I then watched Holy Hell, which is a really good documentary, but I'll talk about that in my documentary part. I watched 12 Monkeys for the first time ever, and it was not what I thought it was gonna be about. I'm sure you guys know it's a classic, but I had never seen it, and I was surprised by where it went. I watched Under the Skin, and I did that for a Patreon review, which will be up in Patreon in a week or so. I watched The Blair Witch, obviously the new one. If you guys haven't seen my review, I did a review with Austin Putnam. We reviewed the first one on his channel and the new one on my channel. I then watched Darling. I was gonna do a review on this movie, but it was so boring and bad and weird that I just had nothing to say about it. And sometimes people say, why don't you do a review on it? If you don't like it, do a review on it and you can just rant and rave and do whatever. But I felt like there was nothing really interesting to say about it and I had nothing constructive to say. And if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. The girl on the photograph. But I feel like if I don't have anything constructive to say or anything to add to the conversation, what's the point? So I would give that a miss if I was you. I finally watched Rigor Mortis, which is a movie that is from Hong Kong that I've been meaning to watch for a long time. Same situation with this one. It was okay, but it dragged a lot and it had a lot of fantasy factors. If you like fantasy, you like foreign horror movies, if you like those two things, put it together, you'll love this movie. I'm not a fantasy action fan, so putting that into my horror movies, wasn't a big fan of it. It had some good points, but nothing a lot for me to say about that one. I then watched The Bourne Identity, which we got all three, I think, in a pack, and we just watched the first one again. Out of all the action movies I've ever seen in my life, I actually don't mind that one too much. Okay, the next 4 ones I watched were for reviews that I'm doing in November. So I watched Visions, good movie. I watched Shelley, all right movie, and I watched Viral, pretty good movie. And then I watched Most Likely to Die, which is a shit movie. But all of those ones will have reviews coming out, so if you're not sure or if you haven't got a pen and paper on you, don't worry, I'll remind you again about those ones. I watched The Good Neighbor. This movie is so fucking good. It's more of a thriller. I'm gonna do a full review on my Patreon about this one because I really, really liked it. If you haven't heard about it, just check it out on IMDb. It is a thriller with a twist that is a little bit different. I thought it'd be a lot more like Disturbia, but it's a little bit different than that. Definitely check it out if you have the time. I then watched Abattoir, which was a movie that one of you guys recommended to me, and one of you guys said that you didn't actually understand the ending. I didn't understand the whole fucking movie. It was very confusing, it was very fast paced, and it was low budget, but the characters were like a little bit out of control. There was two characters that dressed like they were from like the 50s or the 40s, and it was too wanky, and then it had a good concept, but it was just mixed all the wrong way. The concept, I'll tell you guys quickly, because this is one of those movies I didn't even know where to start, so I'm not doing a review on. Abattoir is about a person who is collecting a bunch of rooms from different murder scenes to make this huge house, and it's, you know, I don't know, like everlasting bad vibes. It doesn't make any sense, but it is a good, like, just that alone is a good theory, but it added so much backstory about the town it came from and these fires and adoption, and it got too confusing, and it wasn't a good movie. I would not recommend. Another movie that I watched was Rufus. I really like this movie. It kind of was a little bit slow and soft, but it was good. It's kind of like a vampire tale, kind of like Let the Right One In or Let Me In, but American. So Let the Right One In, but the American good version. And I really liked it. It was really interesting, and it was one of those movies that it does go for a while, so you just have to be in it for the ride and just watching some characters develop, I guess. It was really good. I recommend it. And then I watched Stitches, which I will do a review for, because this movie surprised me, and in all the good ways. If you don't know about Stitches, it's about a clown, and I'll leave it for that until you guys see my review. So probably my favorite movies from the month has to be The Good Neighbor. Obviously another one was Baskin, love that movie. Another one was The Neon Demon. Yeah, those are kind of where I'd stand with my best movies I watched this month. And yeah, definitely Good Neighbor is number one. So my favorite documentary this month has to be Holy Hell, and that's available on Netflix. The movie centers around a few different people, and actually the guy who's filming it was involved in kind of like a cult, and it was a cult that was kind of put out to be good vibes, where they just help out each other and they have their own little community, and then it's kind of brought up who the leader is and his real intentions, and it's quite sad. And it's told in a different way that you would ever hear a cult story told. There is some really bad things that happen, but it is told in such a place from love and everyone there being strong-minded individuals, and just seeing how much someone can be broken down even though they have their own identity. And it's very sad, but it's a really good movie, and I really recommend you guys watch it. And for TV shows this month, I'm not gonna lie, I am a big RuPaul's Drag Race fan. If you wanna know who my favorite is, I love Detox. Normally, Sharon Needles is my favorite drag queen of all time. Or I mean, Divine is, I guess. But I am going for Detox just because I love her, or Alaska, because Alaska is also one of my favorites. Another show I watched is American Horror Story. I watched the first episode. I'm yet to see the second episode. I did a kind of a first impressions of what I thought about the first episode on my Patreon, so I explained in detail what my thought process was while I was watching it. I did think it was really interesting that it was reenactment and interview kind of show. I didn't realize it was all gonna be like that, but who knows where it's gonna go. You guys know I love reenactment shows. I love that show on Netflix called Obsession. So yeah, I'm totally into that. And I'll see, hopefully it's better than Hotel, because Hotel just did not keep my interest. My favorite things this month is a lot of stuff that you guys have done. Number one, you guys made last monthly mission amazing, and you all commented on each other's comments and made me so happy. And I've actually noticed a lot of you guys doing that even more now, and thank you so much for doing that. Another thing was obviously my live stream for all of you guys who came. That was amazing. I had, I think, 60 people in there at one stage, and especially I know a lot of people in Europe and the UK. You guys were up until 1 a.m. or whatever watching me, and that was really, really cool of you. Thank you so much for making it such a good experience for me, and I hope you guys had a lot of fun. And thank you for everyone who watched it afterwards, who couldn't make it and watched it afterwards. It really means the world to me that you guys support me. And I want to mention to you guys, my favorite YouTuber this month is KDRAMARAMA, and this is my friend, I'm gonna call you my friend April, and her boyfriend Joe, and they live in Las Vegas. Or Vegas, I don't know what you guys, cool guys, call it. Anyway, she used to, I mean, I've known her from Snapchat. I know most of you guys from Snapchat. I lurk you guys so much, you have no idea. So she made a channel a while ago, and I just kind of discovered it because she was posting about how she has a new series out. Her and her boyfriend on her KDRAMARAMA channel do adventures out, and they do some really cool ones. It's really interesting for me, especially because I'm from Australia and I've never been to America. So they do a lot of like road trips, and they go see some cool stuff. I'm so kitschy with like that touristy stuff. Everywhere they go, I'm like, I want a shirt, that looks so cool. But they actually went to, not the Area 51, but the place, what's it called, Rachel, outside of it. So they went to like the diner and they saw like the mailbox, and it was just really cool. And they're really good presenters. They give facts and they talk a lot about the information about the place. I'm gonna leave a link below. Please check out their channel and let them know that I sent you. And as for my random category, I don't really think this through before I sit down, but I just asked one of you guys because you Snapchatted me, this guy called Raiders. Hello Raiders, thank you for Snapchatting me. And he asked me what my favorite slasher is. He just replied. Thank you for that question. I'm sure I've answered this before. My favorite slasher has to be either Child's Play or Scream. I hate saying favorites of movies because I feel like I'm always gonna be forgetting one thing, and then I'm gonna be like, oh, why did I say that's my favorites? And then you guys will be like, I thought your favorite was this. Oh, you know what my favorite slasher probably is. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. You guys know I love that movie. So I guess anything 90s. And my monthly mission for you guys, this is such a plug, I'm so sorry. I want you guys to check out my list on my 31 Days of Horror, which starts tomorrow, and find a movie that you have not seen on that list and watch it. And then wait till that video and comment on it, or watch all of them and comment on them. Also, I finished my opening sequence for it, and I really like this one. I did one last year. If you guys didn't know, my theme is always some of the movies from the 31 Days of Horror, some of the trailers, and I kind of put them over each other and do some cool effects. So why not show you guys a sneak peek right now? I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope you enjoy me flooding your subscription box for the next month. Don't worry, afterwards I will be back with more Real Faces of Horror and more reviews. It's all gonna be happening. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Stay spooky. Bye.